Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Right now we're going to be previewing UFC 150 with returning guest Nick Kalikas, MMA Oddsmaker, professional MMA Oddsmaker, and consultant for BetDSI Sportsbook. Nick, thanks for being here once again.
Always a pleasure.
All right, UFC 150. It's not there's not really a marquee fight on the card, but there's a lot of interesting fights, I think, right? Let's start with the main one, the rematch between Edgar and Ben Henderson.
I think, well, that's a marquee fight in my opinion.
Is it?
Yeah, it's. I know they're lightweight guys, but the title's up for grabs. They had a classic battle in the first meeting, so I'm expecting an ultra-competitive fight this time around too. So to me, it's a headliner for sure.
I mean, do you think you're going to get? What do you think the betting actions, the volume is going to be like for this fight?
It's not going to be. I mean, as far as like the heavyweights go, like JDS, Kane coming up, yeah, it'll be lower for sure. You're right about that.
Well, the line is interesting, though. Ben Henderson is, of course, is the rematch. Henderson won the first fight, and you know, some people thought Henderson won handily. Some people thought it was a little bit closer. Frankie Edgar thought maybe he won. Henderson's minus 175. So where'd you open this line? I
opened it around 165. Now the line's been out for a long time, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it opened actually closer to a pick. So my line was about 165 for Bendo. I think really based on the first fight, a slight edge to Henderson is deservingly so.
Sure.
I mean. I think he won the first fight. It was ultra competitive, like I said, but I scored it a close fight for Ben Henderson. I know a lot of people scored it for Frankie Edgar. That's where the controversy comes into play. And really, if you think about it, it all depends on the three judges that were sitting there. I can see where if another set of judges were in there, Frankie could have got away with a decision there. Because it's basically outpointing versus a little bit more power and aggressiveness maybe from Bendo's part, of course. He's got the size on him. He's going to be the one that's going to be the stronger, more physical fighter of the two. But Frankie, man, you can never count the guy out. I mean, we've seen what he's done against bigger fighters. With Gray in the past, he had some wars with him as well. One thing that does impress me about Frankie is his ability to adapt. And in a rematch, I think he's going to actually be even more competitive or more ready than Ben Henderson this time out. So it's a tough line now. I think I'm almost tempted to bet Frankie Edgar this time around. And I did put a little bit of cash on Bendo the first time.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this fight, it looks like, you know, it's going to be a great fight to watch, but I'm not sure at these betting lines how you possibly handicap an advantaging. Both guys are hard to put away, so maybe you want to bet the fight going the distance or something?
I'm expecting this to go the distance. They're both so talented that you never know. I mean, a stoppage either way could happen. For sure, but I would expect a good decision. And a tight decision, again, based on the scorecards, I would probably lean towards a dog as far as dog money goes here because, I mean, you just can't trust the judges enough. We've said it several times on the show before. And, I mean, Frankie has that style, and he almost makes you a fan if you're watching the fights, you know, because he is smaller than a lot of these guys, and he just fights his ass off every time. And you know, he presses everybody, really. So he's that type of fighter. You almost fall in love with watching his fight style because he's fast, he's aggressive, he's well-rounded. So I think he could sway a lot of judges too. So a competitive fight, laying the juice is not a good idea.
Yeah, man. Plus 145, that's not so bad.
No, not at all. And like I said, I think it might even climb up because we've seen nothing but Ben Henderson action on the way up. We're going to see some sharp action come back on Frankie Edgar.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Now, we've talked in many of our shows. You've said that there are a decent amount of like legitimately sharp guys who win money, you know, week in and week out on MMA. Have any of those guys bet this fight, and where do they bet?
Well, more of them are betting Ben Henderson early on too. Yeah, but that's a little bit misleading too because some of these guys will come back and bet the other side, maybe even for more money when the limits do get increased. You know, so it's a little tricky. But majority of the public action. And sharp action is coming in on Ben Henderson so far at the majority of the sports books. Now, like I said, I'm expecting some action to come back in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if the line keeps on climbing, I'm definitely going to hop on Edgar here.